Hey guys, if you like this content, I would greatly appreciate it if you guys liked the video and subscribed to my channel. It helps make these videos worth it going forward.
So guys, Altcoins Sherpa here with a crypto market review. As always, this is not financial advice. I'm not an expert, do your own research. Okay, so today I am going to review a few altcoins. We'll look at the infamous Fantom, One, Near, Atom, all of those types of coins, and then we'll also look at a few others. But okay, so I guess let's just look at. I also want to preface this by saying that if Bitcoin takes the big old dump, then you'll see all these altcoins go like 20 to 50% down from where they're currently at, in my opinion. I think that, and that's if Bitcoin goes like really hard down. Um, Still to be determined what's going to happen with Bitcoin. You can look at some of my previous videos on Bitcoin for that analysis. But today I'll just review some altcoins. This is Cosmos or Atom. Atom is a great coin right now. Um, I think it's just in a very large range, range that's been set early September or so. You can see these range highs being tapped over and over again, and this has just been a resistance area right around $45. If it gets tapped again, I do expect there to be some sort of reaction around that level, but given it's been tapped so many times, I don't know how strong it will be. Um, I find it hard right now to imagine many altcoins going to all-time high levels, but Atom certainly has a chance given the overall market structure of it. Uh, and what I mean by all-time high levels is, I mean in the short term because Bitcoin looks so iffy. I mean, Bitcoin looks good in the short term, but it's still very much unclear of where Bitcoin is going to go within the next few weeks. I mean, if it just V-shaped reverses all the way, then I am going to be very surprised. But I personally think that another shakeout could be coming. But I wouldn't be surprised at all to see something like Atom looking okay in the short term and then grinding up. Uh, and then we see some sort of big correction for Bitcoin, and then maybe something sort of like this type of pattern where we see price come up to this resistance level around $45, have a big pullback back down to 30 or so, and then form some sort of bottom, and then maybe when there's more clarity in like 2 or 3 months, then maybe this one goes to all-time highs. I'm not dismissing all-time high level like right away now. It's certainly possible in the sense that if this is a higher low compared to the December lows, then I think that it honestly has a chance. It has definitely has a potential chance of doing of breaking this all-time high level. But it's really going to depend on Bitcoin being somewhat stable and not super volatile. But I mean, Adam, I think looks pretty good. If I were in this, I would just wait a little bit because I think that more upside is to come. With that said, more upside eventually, but uh, I wouldn't personally enter right at this level. I mean, I would probably wait a little bit lower. Um, there are some other smaller levels here, right around $25 or so. That's also you could also bid the 200 day EMA right around $28. That's also a fine entry level, although a little bit dangerous. I think that it's going to be a little bit choppy here, forming the bottom, but essentially, I do think that some upside is going to come. Let's look at Fantom. Fantom is a very popular coin overall, and I think Fantom is going to take some time as well to just consolidate. I talked about this before as well. I think that around $22.41 is an area of interest where price is just going to consolidate and chop around. And you have seen this 200-day EMA historically been a decent entry area, and obviously it traded around there around late December, pump, and once again it got close to that area. Wouldn't surprise me at all to see this continue to chop around and form some sort of bottom, in which case this would be a higher low, similar to, compared to December, and still a bullish market structure. With that said, I would want to see these highs broken, and I do expect there's to be some sort of reaction around the $3.50 level. I wouldn't be surprised at all to see this have a pullback. I don't know how dramatic it will be. I would play this somewhat similar to Atom though, where you see this form some sort of short-term bottom, and then hit this resistance level around 350, and then we'll see where the low is set. If it's like some sort of higher low, and like we see this like short consolidation area, then I think that we just go higher. But again, it's really going to depend on Bitcoin. If Bitcoin really shits the bed, in March with the rate hikes, then we'll see what happens. I wrote about this coin being somewhat like a fractal of Bitcoin, in the sense that this would be like May of 2021. Obviously, we know the big ass market nuke that happened. June, July had a consolidation period, which is what this would be, followed by another run up to all-time high levels. And then once again, we had a big market nuke. Although this market nuke recently looks quite a bit different than what the current market nuke looks like for Bitcoin. Bitcoin looks much similar to a slow grind down where we have like lower highs and lower lows, like shit like this. This is more almost characteristic of the main nuke, actually. Regardless, it's just an idea of like this being like a kind of fractal, but um, it looks okay, I'll say, in the short term. I actually think this looks pretty good. I think that this is going to probably break pretty soon and fill out some of this inefficient move. And I wouldn't be surprised at all to see this go to something like 26, 27 cents. This would make a lot of sense to me. Hit some sort of like lower high and then pull back. This is like probably a pretty reasonable trade, actually. I'm going to look more into this. And this is given if Bitcoin is still going to be okay over the next few days, but this looks pretty reasonable. 200-day EMA looks good. Let's look on the lower time frames actually. Okay, so you can see all the EMAs are starting to look pretty healthy, and they're all starting to bullishly cross. Decent buy volume coming in. Yeah, I think that I'm going to probably consider buying this one. This one looks pretty good. Near is one of my big bags right now. Near is similar in the sense that this chart looks pretty reasonable. Consolidation right around the 786 fib of this move, with the EMA starting to look fairly healthy. I still have a bag, but I will de-risk right around $15 to $16. I will start de-risking around there. I'll probably just sell a little bit and look to buy in a little bit lower. I don't know, 13, 11, depends on what Bitcoin does, of course. But to me, this chart still looks pretty good. I think that this is potentially a higher low formed, and we'll still see a little bit more chop. But yeah, it looks pretty reasonable in my opinion. Let's look at Matic. Matic is one that is also an interesting coin to me. Historically, as I said, the 200-day EMA, a pretty decent place to bid, as you can see. Several instances where it looks okay. And price traded underneath it for several days, but now it finally broke out of it. There are some resistance levels coming up. As you can see here, right around the May high. This has been tapped several times, so I actually don't think this will be like super strong resistance because all the sellers will probably be out, but you still might get a reaction. These higher ones around 250 and 270, those are the ones to really watch, and then right around 3, of course, the all-time high level. These are like more interesting levels in my opinion. So be careful. I wouldn't really long here personally, but look for some sort of reaction either here right around 220 or a little higher on 250 in my opinion. Those are some of the altcoins that I'm really viewing right now. I guess I'll look at Solana too, just really quick. Solana was looking pretty reasonable in my opinion. It traded underneath the 200-day EMA. It hit this demand area right around $80. It just tapped it like barely. And it looks like it's forming some sort of bottom at this point. Bottoms take a long time to form, as we all know. With that said, I still would be cautious right around this area, around 140, 130. I think that this is going to be a high level of resistance. There's a lot of confluence with that level with the high volume node and 200-day EMA. It would make sense to me to see this grind up a little higher and then come back down. I don't know if it's going to go quite to 80, but it would make sense to me that this goes up a little bit higher, maybe even a little higher. I don't know where it's going to go, like 150, and then pull back a little bit. This is kind of my overall plan for Solana, is to de-risk a little bit around 140 or so. I do have a bag, but then I'll consider buying some more back in. And that's really important to understand too, is that if you even if you really like a project, you can still sell high and buy lower and compound your position, and you can get more coins and still stay in it. You don't necessarily have to just exit all the way. It just depends on what you like about the project and your overall timeline for your trade. But yeah, this is kind of my overall plan for Solana. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll review some other altcoins. Please let me know what other altcoins you'd like to see.